Love Island is accused of insufficient aftercare. As All Stars contestants claim, their experience was worse the second time around despite ITV's duty of care policy being revamped following show suicides. ITV has come under fresh scrutiny after Love Island. All Stars contestants hit out at the program's duty of care, claiming they had a worse experience on their second stint on the show compared to their original series. The network first introduced formal aftercare policies in 2019 following the tragic deaths of past contestants Sophie Gradon and Mike Thalassitis, who both took their own lives. Host Caroline Flack also died by suicide in 2020. Since then, the policies have been updated over the years to reflect modern society, introducing elements such as financial training, a social media ban, and training on how to avoid gaslighting in relationships.
Is your pet ignoring the water bowl? The Veckin Pet Fountain keeps water circulating and uses 5-stage filtration to improve taste and reduce impurities. Want to check today's Amazon deal? Scan the QR code now or visit grabdeal.us/5 before it's gone.
However, despite implementing the comprehensive guidelines, contestants Anton Daniluk and Lewis Morrison, both 31, have insisted not much has changed since they first appeared on the show in the 2010s. ITV say either they do not recognize the claims or they do not reflect its records. Speaking in Prime Video's upcoming docuseries, The Curse of Love Island, Lewis Morrison, who first appeared on Love Island's inaugural series in 2015, revealed he requested help from ITV after he returned for Love Island. All Stars in 2024. His reception from the public after All Stars had been largely negative, with Lewis seeking therapy sessions from ITV to cope with the backlash. Yet while he claimed that these services were provided, he said he ended up going elsewhere because, "I didn't feel like the help was sufficient enough." Lewis had been a fan favorite on his first show stint, reaching the finals with partner Collie Jane Beach. Yet on his second appearance, he was dumped from the villa after just 8 days and rubbing viewers up the wrong way when he was embroiled in an explosive argument with Mitchell Taylor. During his time on the show, his ex-girlfriend Chloe Elizabeth also spoke out to claim he owed her thousands in child support and had rarely seen their 2-year-old son. Reflecting on the reception he revealed after All Stars, Lewis said, "Leaving the villa, my socials and press were very different to what I experienced in Series 1. For months on end, I was sent death threats and horrible messages on a constant basis. I was in a really, really dark place with it all. I always tried to be this alpha male, but I was crying most nights. It was tough, and I live with a little bit of regret because I was like, why did I go back on? I did have support from ITV. They give you help if you need to speak to a psychologist. I asked for more sessions because I obviously needed the help, but I had to go elsewhere because I didn't feel like the help was sufficient enough." Anton echoed Lewis' experience, having also returned to the show for All Stars Series 1 alongside him. The Scottish personal trainer had first appeared on the show in Series 5 in 2019, the first year to have implemented a formal duty of care plan. Yet he claimed that the second time round the contestants were set up to produce maximum drama, at a detriment to his mental health. Anton, who also had a row with Mitch on the series, claimed producers had set up the scrap, musing, "It felt a lot more produced this time than the first time. You're put in certain situations you were never put in before. That's only going to end one way with arguments." Being shown footage of the row, Anton sighed, "It's so frustrating watching this. You can put things in on the front end to look like you're giving them welfare, but in the back end, you're putting them in situations they don't want to be in. And then that's causing a spiral effect online when they come off the show. What are you doing then? That's why I just won't do reality TV ever again." Anton was particularly crushed by how his return went because he had gone on the show again for closure. He explained that he struggled with the fickle nature of fame when he first left the villa, but initially had no need for support. Anton recalled, "When we came off Season 5, we would get checked up on every 2 weeks to a month. They would send you a text to see if you were okay. You had access to the psych. But at this point in my life, I'm on cloud 9, I don't need a psych. But you'd get a little message saying, 'Look, we're moving on to the new season now. Basically, we're not going to be there for you anymore.'" With the new season came a new crop of Love Island stars, with Anton's fame decreasing. You're hero to zero, Anton recalled. When you're so young, it's hard to know what comes next. Nothing compares to it, and you're trying to find things to make you feel that way, the way people look at you, the way people treat you. There was one time where my manager, I reached out to him. I'm really struggling. And that is when you need help from the Love Island producers. But by the time they get back to me, I don't need it anymore, do I? And then you feel more worthless at that point. While he struggled with losing his fame, Anton turned to drink and drugs and moved to Marbella, where he became consumed with the party lifestyle. After a 24-hour bender, Anton tried to take his own life. But after coming to realize, he needed to change his ways and moved back into his childhood home in Wales where he got sober. I'm not saying it was the show that got me to my lowest point, but the aftermath did, Anton mused. 5 months after his suicide attempt, Anton was approached by ITV to appear on All Stars and decided to sign up. I had to prove to myself how far I'd come, and I had to do it to close the door on that chapter of my life, he explained. Because every day I was replaying the highs. Could I have done things differently? Should I have done things differently? Well, there's only one way to find out. Elsewhere in the show, the Islanders reflected on the tragic deaths of Sophie and Mike, who appeared on Season 2 and 3 of Love Island, respectively. Lewis explained, "People who come off Love Island think they're going to come out and go on other shows and become presenters, but when the new Islanders come out, it all changes and you're forgotten about. It's a weird feeling when things go quiet." Malin Anderson, who appeared on Series 2 with Sophie, added, "Coming out the show, I'd be getting £400/500, a sponsored Instagram post. And then when the next series came out, it's £100/50 a post. Me and Sophie didn't get as much work as everyone else did. This is what we shared, financial difficulty. We questioned why we didn't make as much money as the others, and we lacked faith in ourselves. You feel inadequate. You're basing your existence on not being good enough and comparing yourself to others." Sophie's childhood friend Stephen Douglas also appeared on the show and shared, "I don't think she ever felt like she was where she wanted to be or where she envisioned herself being at that age." He revealed, "I noticed a change in Sophie post-Love Island. With the rise of fame came the rise of the trolling. It's hard for anyone to deal with, getting critiqued, and it's coming through to your phone while you're sitting on the couch. You're reading this in real time. But I think being in the industry she was in can cause mental health issues and floods. This wouldn't have happened if she hadn't been on the show. Production needs to have support for these people." Malin added, "Sophie would be down and she'd try to get in touch with Love Island because she was mad they weren't giving her a psychologist and she wasn't getting anywhere with them. I didn't get anything. I didn't get any calls. So when they did call when Sophie passed away to check I was okay, I felt a lot of anger because I knew they hadn't looked after us properly. I agreed Love Island should be canceled. All I remember thinking is that Love Island is cursed. I think Sophie's death really put things into perspective for us. People think you've been given a green card and you've got a good life. No way. Nobody knows what's going on truly for people in reality TV." In response to the claims made in the documentary, ITV said that due to confidentiality, they cannot comment on specific steps taken in relation to the individual's welfare. But they do not recognize claims that Sophie looked to them to provide psychological support, and she wasn't getting anywhere with them. ITV confirmed that their duty of care procedures have evolved significantly over time. "We have added elements such as language and behavior training for participants, as well as a social media blackout for the duration of their time on the show." ITV has worked with medical professionals when reviewing their welfare procedures, and they maintain proactive contact with Islanders for a period of 14 months after the series has ended, with additional help provided where needed. ITV said that Anton's recollections about delay in responding to his request for help don't reflect their records. ITV referred to positive comments from other former Love Islanders across multiple series, praising the welfare support provided before, during, and after their time on the program. The Curse of Love Island will be available on Prime Video on Sunday, July 26. For confidential support, call the Samaritans on 116,123, visit a local Samaritans branch, or see samaritans.org for details.